Spirit.
Your questions are irrelevant. Yeah. I mean, he gave glory to the Spirit.
That's not my question. Worship. Did Jesus,
Holy Spirit is God, the Son is God, and the Father is God.
Who is also God in your being.
That's it. That's it.
What do you mean by worship? That's on the heart.
What do you mean? The Holy Spirit is God, the Son is God.
So let's go to a side. I was only doing you a favor by helping you to come away from, as you said, it's getting...
It was crazy, I can't even hear what
Tell
you're saying.
them that's getting crazy, that's why you don't want them.
Well, that's why I wanted to move away.
Exactly, not me, he wants to move away. So can you excuse him, please? He doesn't want you to be here.
To be fair, the amount of heckling, it started off as just a conversation, and now
Tell them that, tell them that, because they need to understand.
Once you finish, can you debate us?
I don't debate with Decepticons.
Yeah, you're lying. You're scared, bro. Scared.
Okay.
You want to debate us after you finish?
So, can you respect this gentleman, Brian? He doesn't want you to heckle him.
I know.
You tell them yourself. I'm not dealing with different position. I have a my cameraman, if I have any cameraman, and he's not pushing at all.
Everybody pushed in.
So, Jesus the human.
Did he worship? Did he worship the Holy Spirit?
Did he worship the Holy Spirit?
Okay, can you define what you mean by worship?
Okay. Worship is giving all your glory, all your praises, all your supplication, and accepting someone is in higher authority with you, that you are in total dependence.
In that case, no, he didn't worship it.
Right. So, did Jesus the human worship the Father?
Excuse me.
Again, is it the same definition?
Same definition.
I don't think so. Not by your definition.
Right. So when he kneeled down on the ground and he was weeping and crying and putting his foot on the ground, he says, "Let this cup be away from me." Not according to my will, but according to your will.
Yeah.
So he's speaking as Muslim. Not according.
Speaking as a Muslim, you can't call him father. He called him father.
No. What he says.
that.
Let me tell you what it means. Not according to my will, but according to your will. So he's submitting and surrendering his will
to his father,
to the will of his Creator God.
But he called him father, though, didn't he?
Yeah. According to this Christian language, you call it Father.
You're quoting from the Christian.
So he says, his father and your father is the same. So it's not a biological father. It's just, so his father and your father, this kind of fathership is something which is called metaphorical, not literal. Because he says, I'm going to my father and your father. You are not a literal son of God, are you?
No. He allowed other people to be adopted into his family.
He doesn't say adoption.
No. Once you become a follower of Jesus, you can then call God your father.
In what sense is Jesus the Son of God?
What do you mean?
In the English language, the word son has its meanings. Apply any of these meanings and tell me which one applies when Jesus says, I am the Son of God. Or something like that, when he said that.
So when Jesus was born onto earth, we're talking about, or are you talking about the pre-earth?
Make it simple, on earth.
The one on earth.
On earth.
Okay, and say the question one more time.
When you Christians, many of you believe he's the Son of God, what do you mean by the word son?
Okay, so when he was born on earth, he had no biological father.
We go for wash Quran, you go to the fence.
So he had no biological father. So when we're talking about on earth, he was from the lineage, he was produced from the father.
He was produced from the Father. Explain that a bit more.
What do I mean by produced? The Bible said proceeded from, so he comes from the Father.
Is that literal or figurative?
It depends. I don't know what point you're trying to snare me into.
It can either be metaphorical or literal. There's two meanings.
He comes from the Father.
No.
He literally comes from the Father. And he metaphorically comes from the Father.
So he literally proceeds.
No, but that's metaphorically.
Sure, but let's focus on the literal. Okay. So he is a literal Son of God. So when he says, I am going to my Father and your Father, so your sonship is the same as his sonship. According to Jesus Christ, not according to you, according to the very words of Christ in your scripture, he uses the same identification of sonship.
He's saying, like, because right, say let's pretend that I am the prince of a kingdom, right? And this king is going to adopt anyone that I say.
Adoption is a different meaning of a son. Adoption.
Yeah.
So
hold on. First,
go ahead.
if you then get adopted into this family, and the king decides to call you a son,
that's adoption.
Yeah, but if he still chooses to call you a son and gives you his inheritance,
and this son. So now let me tell you the definitions first and apply that in this king example.
Yeah.
In the English language, you can be son literally, biologically, or you can be metaphorically, like the example of a king. He has not literally produced you. He's called you, adopted you. So this is an adoption by legal sense. Metaphorical sense, which is also adoption in a sense like adoption is also metaphorical. Metaphorical is when someone calls out of compassion and love, whatever. Anyone younger, you can say my son, right? You're my son. It doesn't make him your literal son. So either you're a literal son of God, or you're adopted son of God, or you're a metaphorical son of God. You use the example of the king, which is adoption, which is a non-literal son of God. So Jesus was not a literal son of God, according to your belief. He's not a literal son of God. He is a literal son. Okay. So if you say it's literal, then you have to take the word of Christ and apply that to everyone else. He says, I'm going to my father and your father. If he is a son to the father, and you are also a son to the father, if he is literal, you are literal church.
No, why?
He said so. He said so. Be consistent.
Hold on.
From his own language.
Yeah, but the word son can still apply to an adopted son.
But he applies the same meaning that he applies for himself. He says,
I'm going to my father
and your father. Right. No, not because you're following me. He is clearly saying, I'm going to my father and your father. Fathership is saying.
You're deducing that from what?
From his statement. I'm going to my father and your father.
So to me, you're misinterpreting what he's saying.
I'm not misinterpreting. If somebody says, look, if somebody says, I'm going to mine and your something, it's the same kind of meaning.
Okay,
you cannot have one meaning for me and
I was a natural birth, and I said, come on, I'm going to my father and your father. Let's go. It's the same dad.
Same dad?
Yeah.
Either way, it's metaphorical, non-literal.
No, for me it's literal, for you it's metaphorical, but we can go to the same father.
You cannot just say one literal and non-literal.
Why?
Because he's using the same language.
And what? The word son can be applied to someone who's a natural son or an adopted son.
When he said, look, the only example, Ryan, that we have in the New Testament from the words of Christ, he clarifies it in black and white. I'm going to my father and your father, and my God and your God. So he's clearly saying that distinction doesn't exist between you and him in terms of sonship. Distinction doesn't exist in terms of you and him in terms of servitude to the God, your creator. So he has a God like you have a God. And yet you make him God. God doesn't have a God. God.
Okay, the Father. So when you say God, you're referencing an aspect of the Trinity.
Not aspect. God.
That's how I understand it, though.
God.
So you're not speaking on the same.
Are you saying God says I have a God? Does the Trinity?
Jesus could refer to God.
Does the Trinity, the whole thing, ever refer to someone else as
God? They
God?
love each other. Yeah.
It's not about loving.
They do. It's about loving. It's about loving. It's about love, reverence, and worship.
Okay.
That's what they do with each other.
God so loved the world that he killed his own son, according to your belief. Who did he love more?
You're misquoting slightly there, aren't you?
God
so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Right.
That whoever believed on him should not perish but have eternal life.
Does the Father love the world more or the Son more, according to that statement?
It seems like you're...
Take the statement as it is.
Okay, does God love the Son or the
world more?
It feels like that's a strange question.
It's not a strange question. The answer is embedded within the statement itself.
So what do you
God so loved the world, meaning he loved the world so much that he's even ready to sacrifice his own son. His son can be killed and maimed and bruised, whatever, because he loves the world more.
Oh, but where does it say more? Hold on. But the son's resurrected.
So loved.
The son comes back and is now...
No, it's not coming back or not. It's not about coming back or not. You have a concept of God where he's clearly saying, I love the world more than you do, more than I love my son.
Well, that would be the case if the son was killed and stayed in the grave. Wasn't resurrected.
So basically, the whole sacrifice in your theology is totally something predictable.
God knew everything. Yes.
So God knew that he was actually sacrificing his son.
No, God knew that his son would raise again.
So it wasn't Was it a sacrifice then?
It was a sacrifice. His blood was spilled.
Did
Just
God
because you're not understanding
wait a moment. Did God die in that sacrifice?
Did he die?
Did God die?
Did Jesus die?
No.
Why
Did
you-
God
okay,
die?
we don't agree on the certain terms that are being used,
Okay,
so
God,
I
God,
can't
God.
answer your question.
Did the divine God die in that?
His body?
No, I'm not talking about body. Divine
What
is
are
not a
you
body.
saying? What are you saying? I don't understand the question.
God the divine is not a body, is he?
Well, when he came to earth in Jesus, he did. Yeah.
No, he had a body according to your belief.
That's what I said.
He had a body. I'm not talking about the body, I'm talking about the divine. The divine died.
What do you mean, the divine? What, the essence, his soul? Did his soul die?
Sacrificing your
His blood
coat.
was spilled.
Okay, look.
No, because it was a blood sacrifice. There was a sacrificial system.
Let's understand one thing. God is God who is perfect. When he incarnated, what happened to this God? Did he add certain nature to himself or subtract certain nature and filled in with this imperfect nature of human? What happened in the incarnation?
He relinquished certain attributes.
So he gave up.
In your words.
Not my words. In your
No, because we had this conversation before, didn't we? And you were saying
I see there are possibilities. So you have a God in the concept that you have. God, in his attributes,
Yeah.
he
had to become humble. So
No.
he can't be
So
all
basically,
powerful, all like
the God that you
selfish
believe in,
God.
God that you believe in, he left some of his attributes,
Yeah.
and he filled in with the human attributes.
No.